Whenever you're dealing with a marketplace e-commerce platform, an LMS e-commerce association management system with a lot of membership data, possibly multi-store, etc., you're typically going to be dealing with a ton of search data. Now, if you're actually dealing with data at scale, this can be a huge logistical challenge. And a lot of people, whenever they look at system architecture and design, they're really looking at it from a features that I need right now perspective. And whether or not you actually need right now tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions of records, I would encourage you to ask yourself if you will need that many records eventually. And even if you don't need quite that many, can your system handle all of the different attributes that are going to be in your system and do that in a performant way? This can be a challenge even if you just have several thousand records and you're trying to allow your user to search on different filtering, like you can see here on the left of the screen here, and be able to do that in a very rapid, performant way. Now, one of the biggest challenges with most systems for e-commerce and really catalog systems with search is that they're really not designed to be performant in a sort of exponentially decreasing cost to execute on a massive set of data and filtering of that data. Typically, there's a linear increase so that as you have more data, it takes longer for the search to come back. And there can be challenges whenever you're doing things in a clever way that isn't really changing the paradigm properly, where you do a search result that's really performant, or a search that's really performant, but you're not actually getting the right result. So one of the most foundational pieces of being able to conduct search really, really well, getting search results within tens of milliseconds to hundreds of milliseconds at most, is to use a NoSQL set of data and to really understand how your system is going to need to be able to flex and scale so that you can architect the storage of that data and the updating of that data so that it's very reliable information. The search results are going to be ironclad, but that the data itself is going to be updated constantly. Whether you're integrating with external systems, you may have information that's customer specific pricing or inventory or availability. Possibly there's a training course or certification and you need to be able to show up-to-date data. But you need to be able to do that performantly. Typically, there's a marriage between a NoSQL type of system. Typically for search, Elasticsearch and Redis are great options that are open source, off-the-shelf tools that are really powerful and proven at scale for getting excellent search results performance. There are many other options that are similar, but the idea is the leveraging a NoSQL type of model that typically can be married for a detailed set of data that's necessary for a particular user whenever they're searching, to essentially be laid on top of that within their search results sort of at the last minute. This allows you to basically index literally trillions upon trillions of permutations and even much, much higher numbers of permutations and data that can easily be recalled again within tens of milliseconds. Hundreds of a second essentially should be the threshold that you're looking for with your search results. Now, the other thing that's really important with the actual search results performance is being able to set up a feedback loop. It's one thing to be able to index your information, but it's a whole nother thing to have weighting and a feedback loop where the actual search results get better, not worse or not stagnant and staying the same, based on what the user behavior is with that data. Now, this is really interesting because ultimately, whenever you're navigating a system and using a site, one of the main drivers for a user's sort of long-term behavior with the site is their understanding or their sense of credibility of the site. Think about it. When was the last time that you decided to make a purchase on Amazon or a site like Amazon because you knew you could get a result versus another site that had the same item, possibly even for less, but you didn't really know that you could trust the logistics and the execution of that site? And whether or not you actually answered yes to that, if you sort of think about it, a lot of consumers, a lot of businesses, they make choices based on credibility and reliability. And your search results are going to be a massive indicator for the buyer and for the seller about how credible your system actually is. So if you have a feedback loop in addition to having this very performant search system, then you can get the best of both worlds, because your system can pull in data about what a user is actually finding useful and feed that back to your search, so that your search, whenever someone does look for a certain topic and they have a persona that matches that particular buyer or visitor's persona, then we can associate that and manage the search results so they get the best results possible. Now, this isn't enough. You also have to do other things to make sure that your search results are really performant for that particular user. Another key aspect is giving them control and allowing them to directly interact with the search, to choose different presentation models, possibly have different filters that are just specific to them, or weighting that is specific to them as well. Ultimately, there's a lot of nuance to search and search results, especially when you're dealing with a massive set of data potentially, or a massive set of criteria or attributes to be able to search on. There's also the aspect of integrating external systems and normalizing that data. And whenever it comes to all of these and more, we want to provide you with resources based on our experience that you can access complimentary, no additional charge, by clicking on the links in the description below. If you would like and you have an active project that you're interested in talking with a qualified vendor about, please feel free to reach out to us as well. We offer a complimentary discovery process where you get a no sales guarantee and a set of resources that are catered to your specific project at no additional cost. So feel free to reach out to us if any of those apply. Either way, we really appreciate you watching this video. Thanks again, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.